What is the newest Apple Watch called? I've had this thing for months and I don't even know what the hell it's called. Which is crazy. All right, let's see. Apple Watch Ultra 3. All right, what's up everybody? So with that being said, man, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, welcome to the channel. Appreciate you for stopping by and checking things out. Anyways, man, so I am going to be reviewing, not necessarily reviewing, but giving you guys my best in-depth analysis of the Apple Watch Ultra 3, which I just learned the name of, and then the Garmin Forerunner 265, okay? So the title of this video is gonna be Garmin versus Apple Watch. Which one should you get? Or if you are on either side and looking to make the switch, I am going to do my best to answer some of those questions today, because I, like some of you, at one point was conflicted and not sure which one I wanted or which one to go with. And now having them both, I think there is pros and cons to each one, okay? So today, I got some notes down just to kind of make this video run a bit smoother so I'm not rambling, and we are going to get into it. All right, so before I even get into the comparing of the two watches, which I have right here, I want to say that I am the perfect person to make this video because I do a little bit of everything as far as my fitness. If you guys have been watching the channel for some time now, you would know that I train hybrid, I train high rocks. So I think I have a good understanding of the running as well as the lifting aspect of things, okay? So I just wanted to start off by saying that so that you guys know I'm not just making shit up as I go. So, starting off with the overall health assessment, I'm gonna go ahead and chalk things up to the Garmin. The overall in-depth health analysis in totality is better and more accurate for those individuals who are looking for a health fitness watch. If that is why you're buying this watch, go with the Garmin. It has a more depth analysis with your sleep, your HRV status. What I really enjoy about it is, since having the Garmin, I also you download the Garmin Connect app, which is really cool because then it gives you your body battery for the day, your training readiness, so it's going to recommend whether or not you should rest that day, which I'm not even gonna lie, some days is really annoying because I want to go, and my watch is telling me like you should probably rest. You've ran 10 miles this week and you have only slept 6 hours or whatever the case is, but that aspect of it, overall depth in your health analysis, is definitely going to go to the Garmin. Now, moving on to your running and overall cardio. For me, like I said, I like to do outdoor runs. I also do indoor runs, and then I hit the stair stepper about 2 times a week or so. I have found that is far more accurate than the Apple Watch. And that is one reason I've always been an Apple Watch user. Prior to me switching from Apple to Garmin, that was the biggest reason why I wanted to go with the Garmin, is because I had heard such great things about the tracking as far as the runs, as far as the runs go with the Garmin. So runs and cardio also going to the Garmin. Now, lifting and cross training. This might be a hot take. You guys can flame me in the comments, do what you gotta do. I decided as of today that I would rather wear my Apple Watch for my lifts and for my high rocks training. You guys might not agree, but let me just tell you why. If you guys don't know, the Garmin one really cool thing about the Garmin that I'm going to give it to them is when it comes to the lifting, it counts your reps. I think that is really cool. I think that's super cool. It counts your reps. Downfall, and maybe you guys have had a different experience, you guys can tell me in the comments, is it's not always accurate, and a lot of times after each set you have to go back in and manually input how many reps you did. Furthermore, this part really bothers me, probably more than it should. I wear it on my left wrist. Let's say I'm doing single arm dumbbell curls, right? If I'm doing curls with my right arm, it doesn't account for that. Because I think that this one, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is based off of more movement than it is heart rate. That's just what I've come to the understanding of it. I could be wrong. Whereas with the Apple Watch, I think it's based off of your heart rate, so it doesn't count your reps. But I think it's more accurate as far as tracking when it comes to your lifting as well as like high rocks training. Also, last thing that I'll say about that, the Garmin doesn't have a cross training option, or at least maybe I just haven't found it. So when it comes to my high rocks training, I usually just select the HIIT, the high intensity interval training. But I really like that the Apple Watch has the cross training, so that's more of like a CrossFit type thing, which I think would be more accurate to high rocks specifics. I actually want to add one more thing about the Garmin in regards to the health analysis. One thing that I don't like about it is as you're setting up this watch, and this is probably just me being, I don't know, me being picky, I guess you could say, it does have a more in-depth sleep analysis, right? That is really cool. But what I don't like is whatever you set it up as when you initially open up your watch and set it up with the app and all that stuff, it has you set up the time that you go to bed and then the time that you wake up. And I don't know, maybe this is specific to me, or maybe I did something wrong along setting this up, but anything that I've slept over that, so for example, I have it set from 11 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. is kind of my window of sleep. Let's say I were to go to bed at 10, or if I were to wake up at, let's say, one morning on a Saturday or a Sunday, I sleep until 8, it doesn't track for that sleep. With that, throughout the rest of the day, now because of that reason, on paper, it looks like maybe I didn't get enough sleep, but I might have slept more. You know what I'm saying? So then when you go to check like your body battery or your training readiness, all of those things are going to be lower and inaccurate based on what you initially set this to be. So again, that could be specific to me. Maybe there's something that I can change, but it is something that has bothered me along the process of having an experience with both of these watches. So lastly, I'm just going to end this video with saying the way that it was described to me, and I think this is the perfect way to kind of think about things if you're deciding to go with the Apple Watch or if you're deciding to go with the Garmin, is the Apple Watch is a smartwatch with fitness features, okay? So for example, I have an iPhone, so it is directly linked to my Apple Watch. I can get calls on here, I can get text, I can even take calls, I can do speak to text, I can talk to Siri. Like when I'm doing my runs, that's really cool because I can just tell Siri, hey, change the song, do this, whatever the case is. I find that to be really beneficial, whereas the Garmin, you don't have that opportunity. So the Garmin is going to be a fitness watch with smartwatch features. So it's going to be more in-depth analysis of your overall health. You get to track your reps, all that cool stuff, but you don't have the smartwatch features of taking calls, of texting on it. You do get notifications on there, which is cool, but for what I do personally, As a personal trainer, sometimes it is convenient being able to do things like take calls or take texts on the Apple Watch. So there is my overall review of both of these watches. Honestly, man, you really can't go wrong with either. They both have a different look to them. Another thing that I'll add, the Garmin is incredibly lighter. Like this thing right here, I wish I could like drop it and show you guys. This thing is a heavy ass watch, and it's not something that I really noticed until having the Garmin. I was like, damn, the Apple Watch is actually really, really heavy. Not as if it's heavy enough to slow you down or anything like that. It's just something that I noticed. The face on this Apple Watch is also larger. I know with some of the Garmin's, the more expensive ones, the face is bigger, and those have so many other capabilities, but just with these two specifically, the Apple Watch does have a bigger face, which is kind of cool as well. I think it kind of has a cooler look to it. I think the band is cooler. That's all stuff you can change. But yeah, man, so if you're stuck between the two, I'm not gonna say one is better or worse. It's just a matter of preference and maybe what it is that you're looking for specifically. I plan on using both moving forward because I think both are better at certain things, and I have both, so why not make good use of them? So I'm gonna stick to probably wearing my Apple Watch when it comes to my lifts, and then when it comes to my outdoor runs and my indoor runs, I will stick to using the Garmin. So I hope that that was helpful at all. If you guys have any experience with either of these watches, definitely leave those down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys prefer, if you guys prefer the Garmin or if you prefer the Apple Watch.